Hello my friends, my name is Maor and welcome to my channel. My channel deals with anything that is about spirituality, materialism, about dry fasting, a combination of health, mental, emotional and spiritual energy altogether. Today, in this video, I'm going to call it Mind Over Pasta. I'm going to teach you about the triggers of cravings, the different cravings, and in the end I'm going to give you an exercise that will immediately fight any craving of you have of any type of category. So, stay tuned. So let's begin with understanding what cravings are. First, there are cravings that are not only mental, in other words, cravings that are not coming just from the head, but physical cravings. In other words, what other people would define as hunger or thirst, that's also a type of a craving. And what we want to know is we want to know if the craving is mental or if is it emotional. Does it come out of the habit or out of the head? One of the most common cravings is food cravings, right? Or drink cravings. For example, if I will tell you pizza, or orange juice, or ice cream, everything triggers something small in our mind and it creates a craving because we have an association. A simple exercise to know if it's really a craving or we feel like having, in other words, if it's from the body that wants it or if it's from the head that wants it, is asking, feeling the body itself is craving, you will feel it in your stomach, or can I say I feel like having? So there's a difference between I want, I need, and I feel like having. If it's something like ice cream, by the way, it's usually I feel like having. A good exercise, by the way, to know if you're really hungry is if you feel like having an apple, if you like having apples. Because most of the time, if it's about a snack or something, an emotional trigger, it will not usually be an apple or something of that sort. It will be something that is more like sweet, something that is more emotionally based, one might say. Let's talk about the different types of cravings. Now, there are cravings that are food cravings, which sometimes can come from the fact that you are simply dehydrated, so the body actually tells you I want water, but because human beings this day and age don't really drink a lot of water, we imagine it as type of food. So you can just drink water and shut your body up. There's 4 possible ways of dealing with a craving. The first is to fully give in to the craving. In other words, you feel like having something, go have it, indulge yourself, but you have to understand that if you're going to give yourself everything that you really wanted, if in the end you don't feel satisfied, then you know that this craving was completely emotional. And there's absolutely nothing that can fill it up, so you have to use one of the other methods. So that's method number 1. Completely allow yourself to have as much as you want of that thing that you wanted. Method number 2. Take a sample or something small of that thing that you really wanted. So example, if you wanted to order pizza with some friends, instead of taking 4 pieces like you used to, take 1 piece or take even half a piece. Eat it slowly. See if the craving was only about the taste, having the flavor, because usually what we want is the taste of something. Now, this doesn't work for a lot of people. This does require a little bit more control, but it also works on the fact that you're getting what it is that you wanted, only in a very small dose. Third type of dealing with craving is actually finding something to replace that crave. In other words, still give yourself something, but understand if it was something that was emotionally based, which a lot of cravings are. For example, cigarettes can be emotionally based. Going back to our ex or have sex again can be an emotional crave. Food can be emotional crave. Find something to substitute that. So go get a massage. Or if you're craving sugar right now, maybe you need something else that will create endorphins, even an exercise. Even though it sounds funny, an exercise actually makes you feel kind of good. Same thing with yoga, meditation, silencing yourself, breathing techniques. All of those things can be substitutes, and you need to find the thing that you enjoy the most. So like we said, method number 1, complete indulgence. The method number 2, limiting ourselves. Method number 3, finding the proper substitute in the proper, you can say, scale for you. Method number 4, fight it. Don't give in completely. Because what happens is that you're creating the type of personality that gives into the cravings. Now, I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm saying we all do it, but it is time to understand that the consciousness is actually way above the physical body. So the body will actually say, I want something. So and then you split it and you understand, wait a second, I'm interested in something or do I need something? If I need something, sometimes you crave salt, sometimes you crave sugar. You can, go for the healthy stuff if you want. If it's a really unhealthy thing, sometimes it's about our mode. In other words, we feel pressure, we feel upset, we feel incoherence in the world. In other words, we're not satisfied with our relationship, with our job. We come back home. Our heart actually has a huge void that we're trying to fill. So the last one is actually complete avoidance. And for this, I'm going to give you a very, very good exercise that I'm going to teach you right now. Some people might consider this exercise to be a little bit eccentric or a little bit extreme, but trust me, it works. Now, doesn't matter what your craving is, because sometimes we are in love with someone that doesn't love us back. Sometimes it's really about food. Sometimes it's about something that we really, really want, but we can't really have, okay? Sometimes it's craving for sleep, and some people just stay in bed all day. Now, imagine that your craving is for a cigarette, or imagine that you're craving right now a lot of chocolate, or something really sweet, or a huge chocolate cake, or fast food, or something that is really bad for you. So let's take fast food, for example. Now, what I want you to do in that minute that you feel like having that, I want you to imagine that you're not only eating that, I don't know, deep fried fries or chicken or whatever it is that you want to have right now. I want you to feel like you're overeating it. Okay, so you have that sensation in the end of the meal that you ate too much and your body, you almost want to throw up. You feel the disgust that comes with that. And if it's a piece of chocolate, you don't want a piece of chocolate. You took 2 packs of chocolates right now, and you're hyperactive from the sugar, and you're all shaking, and you feel bad, and it wants to come out, and you almost want to throw up. And I want you to continue. In other words, you ate that fast food, you ate 4 times the amount that you should have eaten, that you should have normally eaten. And it's not that you're full and you're happy with it, it's disgusting. And now you keep on stuffing more and more down your throat. Okay? Now, only this visualization, only imagining this should already put you in a disgusting, no, I don't really want it. Unless your subconscious is now telling you, oh, I'm playing tricks on myself. And that's the little rebel that knows that you're tricking him and therefore is trying to bypass it in some way. So continue with this visualization and you'll see that you don't really feel like having that thing. Same thing with smoking, or smoking weed or taking a particular drug and you want to get rid of the addiction. What you should do is just imagine yourself smoking not 1 cigarette, but 10 cigarettes together in a row. And you feel that you're suffocating and your hands smell and your skin, it becomes dry. And people around you are like, oh my God, what is that smell? What is that stench, And you keep smoking and you don't really stop. And the same thing with exes. I had a relationship 1 year and the only way I could get rid of her, and really, I'm sorry to even speak in this way, of course, but we broke up, we came back. We broke up, we came back. It's like she didn't let me break up with her. And I asked myself, I'm a free man. How is it possible that somebody is not allowing me to break up with them? And eventually what I did is I said her name and I said never again. Let's her name starts with an A, so let's say A, never again. A, never again. A, never again. And I just I sublimed it. It went into the subconscious. I changed the program, and this is what you're actually doing it. And every time you're going to do this with whatever addiction or craving that you actually have, you're going to sublime it, and eventually you're going to be, you can say, disgusted by it. And eventually it's not going to be a negative discussion, but it's just going to be out of your world. You won't want it anymore. Like many, many things in your life that you stopped having. Old relationships, old addictions, different cravings that you had when you were younger and today that you don't have them anymore. All of these type of things. In this way, you will be able to rewrite any habit or any addiction that you have, and puts you much more in control of the habit than having the habit or the craving control you. So to summarize, in this exercise, which is called the reversed craving exercise, we're actually using the extreme modality of that craving to our advantage. We get control over it. We actually play around with it. And in the beginning, yes, it can be extreme. You have to visualize it. You have to imagine it. You have to feel the disgust, because it has to be connected with a negative experience and a negative emotion. We gave a definition of what a craving is, specifically for food cravings. And after that, we actually define 4 different levels of dealing with cravings. One of them is the full level, in other words, I allow it. The second one is I allow a little piece or something that will be similar. The third is I'm going to find a replacement for my craving. And the fourth is I'm going to disallow it completely. Now the fourth one can actually create a resistance at the beginning. So I would go for number 2 or number 3, especially in the beginning, or you can actually use the method that I taught you in the end. That works like without a doubt. I've tried it in many, many different ways. I've taught it to have success with this method. So my friends, thank you very much for staying all the way to the end. Of course, you can sign up to my newsletter to get these type of videos first or other advices that other people don't get. Go to my website, raymaor.com, and if you're looking for a workshop that will really solve all your cravings and remove any addiction that you had before, I would go into the videos that talk a lot more about the Breatharian lifestyle and adaptation to a completely new level of vibration. On screen is the next video that I recommend for you to watch in my channel. Namaste my friends, and I will see you in my next video.